Hey, Chad White, located here in the Amnesty International House of Pancakes. Specifically, I am in the Fortress of Solitude, located deep in the heart of the Amnesty International House of Pancakes. I got my hands on a Vox AC30 Custom Classic 2 a few years back. Pawn shop up in the White Mountains, Show Low to be specific, Show Low, Arizona. And got it for $400 out the door. I was actually sitting on it testing out a guitar that I ended up not taking home. Guy asked me if I'm interested in the amplifier, and I basically said, yeah, if you give it to me for $400. I was just trying to get him off my back, and he comes back 5 minutes later with a calculator and says, we can do this. So I got an amp. I'm going to retube it. I'm putting in EL844s, which are, they're not quite a variant on an EL84, but they put out about 25% less headroom, which means you can get bedroom volume and still get a nice crunchy AC30 tone. I'm going to go ahead and put this on pause, and let's get this done. And here we go. Now, I have removed all but one screw here. There are actually 8 screws in the back that come out. Just going to take this last one out here so I can show you the panel that comes out. And of course, now it wants to fall. That's all right. So we remove the panel here. And as we come through here, you may notice, or you may not, let me see if I can get a light on here. All right. Up in here, there are exactly 4 screws. 2 here, 2 here. Once those screws are removed, everything comes out pretty easily, like so. Oh, by the way, make sure this is unplugged and you've given a little bit of time. The capacitor in this thing probably packs a wallop. I haven't found out for sure, but I shouldn't have to find out. You know what I mean? Hang on. Okay, here's a view from above after removing it. Here's the panel, of course. Here we have the rectifier tube. Here we have 4 EL84s. Preamps are here. We got ECC83s or 12AX7s. Let's see, I'm not sure. Okay, I never remember which one of these is what they call the P1 or the T1, the one that matters the most as far as the quality of the tube. These are all JJs anyway. At least they're all going to be JJs. Now, the only ones I want to change out are the EL84s, which I'm swapping out for the EL844s. I'm going to turn this around, get a better view. Actually, quite pretty from this angle. A lot of glass, a lot of chrome, a lot of pretty wiring. Now, you would pull these to the side here to loosen a bit. Don't want to take them off too vigorously because you don't want to damage anything. And you simply take out slowly and gently. Now these, okay, these are not the originals. I'd forgotten about these. These were Fenders. EL84s. I think, I'll be damned if I remember what EL84s get used in Fenders. I'm thinking maybe a Princeton or something along those lines. I used to know this stuff. Hang on, I'm going to take out the others and I'm going to show you the JJs. Here we go with all 4 of the EL84s removed. Turns out 2 of them were Fenders and 2 of them were Electro-Harmonic Sovtex. I believe the Fenders were also rebranded Sovtex as well. Going to go ahead, put in the first of the EL844s, matching JJs. Near as I can figure, the person who had this originally must not have been terribly concerned about it, having the mismatched tubes, because an EL84 isn't necessarily the pickiest thing in the world when it comes to these amplifiers. Allow me to rephrase that. These amps self-bias, so you don't have to necessarily deal with the nightmares you might need to deal with if you're retubing, let's say, a twin, or even an older PV, like an old Heritage, or a VTM or a VT Series Classic, which would have had the solid state preamp and the the 6L6 power tube amp. Although I believe the VTX series, or VTM series I should say, could be set up with either EL34s or with 6L6s, which is kind of a nice touch if you're indecisive. I never put EL34s in them. I had a few different classics, and my brother had a Heritage that I borrowed quite frequently, but I never did have EL84s in them, although I bet it would have sounded pretty good. So here we go. It's actually a fairly simple process here. I'm going to go ahead, put everything back in, turn the sucker around and plug in. It's going to take a few minutes, but that's the point of the pause button, ain't it? And we're hooked back up again. It's a beautiful thing. Let me see if I can get a little bit of an angle on here, play a little bit. Oh, well, not much of an angle here. This is what happens when you don't have a proper stand or a visual aid or an assistant. Assistant's help. I suppose I could just... or I could just accept the fact that you're going to get a lousy view and just play. That's not bad. Overall, it's definitely a little less volume. I've got the master volume on maybe 1. It's got plenty of room to grow, plenty of room to get loud, and yet it's at a low volume, and I'm still getting a nice crank. And this is on. I'll show you. And this is on P90s. On the humbuckers, I expect I might get something a little more substantial. It's hard to say, although I must admit these P90s are higher output than the burst buckers that are in my Les Paul studio. So there you have it. In the event you needed some help retubing your classic custom AC30, I'm hoping this helps. I'm just, it's a darn shame there wasn't a video like this out there when I was trying to retube this the first time, but this way someone else has it, and I hope you have a great day. Again, this is Chad White, Amnesty International House of Pancakes. Hope you have a great day.